Hi, I'm attorney Kelly Longtin from Kelly Longtin Law, and I want to thank you for watching this video today, where we're going to talk about whether or not your trust can own your business after you pass away. So in general, the answer to this question is yes. Your trust can own your business after you die. However, there is a number of considerations that may impact the answer to this and some additional questions. One consideration is the type of business interest that you own. Is your business a limited liability company, which is often referred to as an LLC? Is it a partnership? Is it a corporation or a sole proprietorship? So another consideration is how your business is managed. Is your business managed as an LLC, a partnership, or a corporation? So first question to ask is, how does the trust get ownership of the business? Let's talk about if you're currently an LLC. If your business is an LLC, a trust can receive ownership of your business interest when you execute an assignment of interest. If you are the LLC sole member, then after you've executed the transfer document assigning your interest to the trust, then the trust will own 100% of your business. If your LLC has other members, your trust will own only the percentage of the business that you actually own. For example, if you have a 25% ownership interest in an LLC, then your trust will own 25%. So it is important to review the LLC's operating agreement to see what restrictions, if any, there are on transferring your interest. Also, some operating agreements will require the other members' consent prior to any transfer. If your LLC issues membership certificates, then you should probably submit your assignment document to the LLC and have new membership certificates issued in the name of the trust. So let's talk about if your business is a partnership. So as with an LLC, a partnership's interest is transferred to a trust by an assignment of interest. Again, it's important to review any partnership agreement to determine if there are restrictions or other conditions such as consent requirements to that transfer. Now let's talk about if your business is a corporation. If it's a corporation, you should contact the corporation to determine what documentation will be needed to transfer your stock to your trust. For closely held corporations without specific documentation requirements, you can transfer your stock to your trust by executing an assignment of stock. You should then submit that document to the corporation so that new stock certificates can be issued showing that the trust owns the stock. As with other types of business interest, you should check the corporate governing document, if any, to determine if there are restrictions or other conditions on making that transfer to your trust. So let's talk about if you're a sole proprietor. If you own your business as a sole proprietor, you have not created any separate legal business entity that actually needs to be transferred. To transfer ownership of your business assets to your trust, you will simply transfer ownership in the same way as you would any other assets that are in your personal name. The next factor that you need to look at is, how is your business managed? And how is the business managed after it has been transferred to that trust is a very fact specific and will depend on several factors, such as what kind of business has been transferred and how was that business managed prior to that transfer. So let's first talk about the LLC. So after that business interest has been transferred to your trust, the trustee will own the interest. If the interest is a single member LLC where the member runs the business and is also the trustee, then the trustee would continue to run the business's day-to-day affairs just like prior to the transfer. After that member's death, the successor trustee would manage the business unless the trust and the operating agreements have specified otherwise, or the trustee has delegated their business management duties to another person. If, however, the business interest is a managed multi-member LLC where the member has not participated in day-to-day management decisions and such decisions have been delegated to a manager, the LLC would continue to be managed by the manager both prior to and after that member's death. Now, in a partnership where the partner participated in day-to-day management and now has transferred their ownership portion to a trust of which they are the trustee will continue to manage the business as they did before the transfer. As with an LLC, after the partner's death, the successor trustee will step in and manage the business unless the trust in the partnership agreements specify otherwise, or if the trustee has delegated their management duties to another person. If the partnership has delegated these duties to its officers or employees, then depending on what the trust and the partnership agreements direct, the trustee will most likely continue to allow the other officers or employees to manage the business, both prior to and after that partner's death. Now, with corporations, after transferring the corporate stock to the trust, the trustee, as the owner, will be entitled to vote that stock according to the terms and conditions of the corporation's governing documents. Normally, a transfer of stock to a trust will not change the corporation's management. So let's talk about what the beneficiaries receive. Now, the trust terms will determine what the beneficiaries are entitled to receive. The trust is entitled to receive income or profit distributions to owners or stockholders. Now, whether that income is distributed to the beneficiaries and on what terms will depend on the trust agreement's terms. Now, I want to talk to you about S corporations. If your business is taxed as an S corporation, now, and you do not have to actually be a corporation to be taxed as an S corporation. There are special rules about who can own an S corporation. It is important to seek the advice of a qualified legal or tax professional prior to transferring ownership of your S corporation business interest to a trust and after the death of the grantor or the trust maker. Although your trust can own your business after you die, you must consider many factors when transferring your business ownership interest to your trust. Therefore, it's important to consult with a qualified professional who can ensure that you have considered all of the factors and to help you properly complete that transfer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for watching. I'm attorney Kelly Longtin from Kelly Longtin Law.